All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time. Let's get started with our first speaker. Our first speaker today is a wordsmith of the highest order. As well as having written 2 best-selling books with a third on the way, she has been coming into our homes every weekend via the Sunday Mail for 14 years and tickling our funny bones. She is also, a little-known fact, Australia's best dancer. Yep. She is. You know, I was a little sceptical when I saw that written on her bio, but I have to tell you, she had a couple of champagnes in the green room earlier and she busted out some moves. Dude, chick has got game. I'm hoping that if her team wins, she will do a celebratory dance and inspire us all. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the very talented Frances Whiting.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Frances Whiting and I'll be your conductor today on a very special train journey, the Mind the Gap Express. The journey where we let you go so far, but no further. Now, a few housekeeping points before we begin. This can be a little bit of a harrowing trip. So the bar carriage is about 3 down, should you need some liquid fortification along the way. Also, please be aware, as we do alight at different stations, you will have to mind the gap. Why? Because while many people will try to tell us that women don't have to mind the gap anymore, that we've moved on since the days when women in the public service had to quit when they got married, which was back in 1966, probably because they thought that women couldn't work out how to make a meatloaf in the kitchen and then serve coffee in the office the next day. We haven't really moved on that far. One moment. Now, the people who tell us that we no longer have to mind the gap will say we've come a long way, all the way to the Prime Ministership, no less, women holding premierships of states, hundreds of women running top companies. Well, not hundreds, but loads. Well, not loads, but quite a few. Well, not quite a few, but several. Okay, 7. 7 women, CEOs in the top 200 ASX companies. But you see, the numbers don't really matter, ladies and gentlemen, because it doesn't matter how many of us there are, or indeed what we're actually doing, because all of us, collectively, are destroying the joint. There he is. Now, not 6 months ago, our good friend Alan Jones had this to say about our Prime Minister and other women. She, the Prime Minister, said that we know societies only reach their full potential if women are politically participating. Women are destroying the joint. Christine Nixon in Melbourne, Clover Moore here. That's right, girls. We are wantonly and shamelessly destroying this country because freakishly unmarried, not to mention purposely barren women like our Prime Minister, are running rampant through this country, destroying it by their selfish, completely illogical demands to redress the balance a bit, but it's probably not their fault. It's probably that time of the month. Now, what Alan Jones was so vitriolically reacting to was a point that the government wanted to commit $320 million to improve opportunities for the political, economic and social advancement of women in the Pacific. Ungrateful hula skirt wearing wenches. But Alan Jones probably had a point. Do women really in this day or age need their lot improved? Well, let me tell you a few tales from the Mind the Gap Express. I've just spent some time with Lorna Inman, the new CEO of Billabong and one of those 7 CEOs on the ASX list. And do you know what she told me? She said that she thinks the reason we have so few women in upper management is because of what she calls an unconscious bias. This is her quote. "Men don't even know they're doing it," she said. "You ask any man if they would like more women in the boardroom and they will always answer emphatically yes. And you sit there in these boardrooms and you sort of look to your left and you look to your right and you think, well, where are they? I'll tell you where they are. Probably in the kitchen, destroying a joint of beef. Inman told me recently of flying to New York on business with a group of men, and as you do, you all go up to your hotel room, you get changed, you freshen up to go out afterwards. Only when she rang everybody afterwards to say, where are we going, team? They'd already gone to a gridiron match in Central Park without her. Because they didn't think for 1 minute that maybe, just maybe, she might have liked to have gone along too. Because when women miss out on going things like that, ladies and gentlemen, they're not just missing out on beer and hot dogs and mustard, they're missing out on all the shop talk that goes on at those events, and we all know it does. It happens a lot to women in corporate positions today. Just ask them, because we've all got our battle stories to tell, haven't we, girls? Turn to the woman next to you at some time today and ask her to tell you her story. And somewhere along the line, on this train journey, she'll have one. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm only here today to set the scene a little on the journey we're going to take you on, to paint the landscape for you. It's a landscape inhabited by some truly inspiring women, two of them my team members, my fellow team members, Raylene Robertson and Linda Lavarge. Now, Linda, as some of you might know, is a much respected former Member of Parliament and Attorney General of this state. Well done, Linda. And what you may not know, I didn't, is that when you become a Member of Parliament in this state, you automatically get membership to Tattersalls Club. Great! Tattersalls Club, as you all know, is that venerable gentleman's establishment in the city where our top politicians and businessmen go to talk business and talk shop. Oh, our male business leaders, that is. Because we girls still aren't allowed in there. And I wonder how many discussions in the hallowed halls of that venerable institution we've missed out on because of it. Anyway, Linda was a Member of Parliament, but they couldn't give her a membership to Tats. Awkward. So what did they give her? What did they give her, ladies? They gave her 2 tickets to Ladies' Day at the races. She was thrilled. Anyway, ladies, I do hope you have a pleasant trip travelling with us today on the Mind the Gap Express. Please avail yourselves of our bar car, our dining car, but not, I'm afraid, our Members Club car. That's still for men only. Thank you very much.